our next award is the Franscis Cook Mentorship Award. This is presented to an individual in recognition of their significant contributions and to the encouragement and support of the next generation of herpetologists in Canada. I'm tongue-tied on that word today. Sorry guys, I shouldn't be. And this nomination was done by Scott Killingwater, and the recipient is Dr. Joshua Feldman. If Scott, you would like to speak, say a few words.
Absolutely. Thanks. Yeah, so, you know, there's a number of awards that could have been given to Josh. His achievements are far-reaching. He's an incredible herpetologist, an incredible teacher, and at the same time, extremely humble. So a lot of folks may not have come across Josh yet because he's always in the field with students. He's always doing what he does best, and that is teaching and research. And so I think it's probably best that maybe I read the nomination, but I will say before I do that, there were a couple of funny things that happened. You know, we wanted to get these awards to folks ahead of time, and with Josh being about 3 hours from me, we tried to work it out so his wife received the award and surprised Josh. However, with a few problems with the postal service and getting the award, without knowing it, Josh had to pick up his own award from the post office. And the funny thing about that is Josh, being the environmentalist that he is, he bikes to work as a professor at Sir Sandford Fleming College. So then on his lunch hour, he had to quickly bike to the post office to pick up a package for his wife, bike back to school. When he finally gets home, his wife tells him, well, it's time to open up the package that he picked up for her. And it was his award. And the other funny thing about this whole situation was we didn't know if Josh would be available today because true to form, Josh was in the field mentoring future herpetologists today. Luckily, he was able to make it home in time to say a few words. But in the interim, I will say a few words about Josh. So in every way, Josh Feltham exemplifies what it is to be a mentor to the next generation of herpetologists. With significant personal interest and professional expertise in herpetology, as well as being a gifted leader and teacher, there are few that could better fit this award. Josh is a full-time professor and coordinator of the Ecosystem Management Program at Fleming College's School of Environmental and Natural Resource Sciences. As a professor, Josh takes considerable time and effort in developing his programming and teaching his students, being sensitive to student needs and abilities, while challenging them to take measured risks and expand their comfort zone, which are key elements of Josh's style and approach to teaching. His philosophy in education is to present challenges, challenges students that will increase their adaptability, creativity, and ingenuity to make them more resilient and successful in a rapidly changing workplace. It is these strategies that Josh uses in all aspects of his professional and volunteer efforts. He was awarded the Vice President Academics Contract Faculty Award for Excellence in Teaching in 2011, and the Brian L. Desbiens Community Service Award in 2014. In addition to Josh's role at Fleming College, he's been a teacher and mentor to countless students, conservation biologists, researchers, and local communities across Canada, as well as in Central and South America. For example, he's developed successful tropical ecology and herpetology programs in Central America, including community-based sea turtle conservation efforts and field herpetology courses in Costa Rica. A summary of Josh's past and present positions relevant to this award nomination include, but of course are not limited to, Professor, Sir Sandford Fleming College, Station Manager and Director for Education for the Canadian Organization for Tropical Education and Rainforest Conservation, General Manager of Reptilia Reptile Zoo and Education Center, Instructor for various provincial herpetology courses, Leader of Provincial BioBlitzes, Director of Destination Conservation. So Josh goes above and beyond what is required of him and ensuring all students of all ages can learn, whether in the classroom in Lindsay, in a Central Ontario wetland, or in a Costa Rican rainforest. So Josh recently completed his PhD at Trent University, which involved detailed study on morphology, spatial ecology, and biology of the five-line skink within Ontario's Canadian Shield, And outside of his academic pursuits, Josh is quick to offer assistance and freely lends his knowledge and expertise to others. He has contributed broadly to reptile research and conservation programs across Canada and internationally. Building on years of experience in Costa Rica, Josh has developed programs that not only train visiting Canadian students, but directly assist Costa Rican citizens and communities. In Josh's own words from his Destination Conservation website, "My efforts focus on community-based, locally managed conservation projects that address human needs and environmental issues. I believe empathy for people is essential for work in conservation and restoration because effective long-term solutions revolve around local people with a vested interest in the project's success." And it's through this way of thinking that Josh has also developed a program in Guyana where the goal is to help develop and document sustainable models of economic development that protect ecological integrity. His focus in local partnerships with community-based conservation initiatives is clear to see through Josh's interactions with local community members, through his donations of time and funding to communities where he conducts this research, and through his steadfast dedication to local sustainability. Through the involvement of Canadian students, these tropical research and conservation programs get international attention as well as much needed assistance on the ground. Josh's photography and videography skills further complement his efforts in showing the rest of the world not only the beauty of the tropics, but also the threats and local issues that make conservation efforts in these areas very complex. So all of Josh's past and present efforts focus on education, conservation, and mentorship of the next generation. As a herpetologist myself in Ontario, I meet countless students of his seeking a career in herpetology. In every case where the people have either been taught by Josh in the classroom or in the field, they show great respect for what Josh has instilled in them, from passion for conservation to relevant and refined field skills. In most cases, it is also followed by a funny story of how Josh got his point across. In all cases, I've been witness to the students that state that they are stronger researchers, better biologists, and more skilled technicians due to Josh's influence. Josh's influence extends far beyond his students, positively impacting herpetologists of all ages and experience levels. My own experience with Josh has shown his effortless, positive impact on students of all types and the lasting lessons they will take with them into their future jobs. Dr. Franscis Cook would no doubt respect the approach Josh takes in molding our next generation of herpetologists. In the words of Josh's wife, Karen, Josh never stops thinking, planning, and most importantly, doing. He is generous with his time, knowledge, and experience, and is always willing to help without expecting anything in return. He is well respected, has an impeccable work ethic, is dedicated to his family, and is committed to the college and his students, his local community, his country, and the environment on a global scale. So I couldn't agree more, and this is why I feel Josh Feltham is deserving of the Franscis R. Cook Mentorship Award. I have no doubt that his past students, peers, and the many individuals in tropical communities where he has worked would also agree. So it's my honor to have Josh receive this award.
Hello, everyone. This is actually the first time I've been able to attend any aspect of this meeting because it usually occurs in the second part of our second week of classes for the college, and we're getting ramped up and ready. And on the second weekend of college, we usually have a field camp for the ecosystem management students. This year we moved the field camp to next week, but still somehow managed to miss things this week because the conservation biology program, a new program at the college, had their field camp this week. So I'm happy to be able to join for at least a certain short period of time. And yeah, completely an unexpected honor really to be considered and nominated. And I really want to thank Scott. And I hear that Joe and my wife were in on this as well. So, want to thank you and the board for this support and recognition. It's not something that was expected and came as a big surprise. So I think, like Steve, I was caught off guard by it, but very honored. First in terms of Dr. Franscis Cook, and to think about what he has contributed to Canadian herpetology and mentoring, to even be mentioned in the same sentence, and to have my name on a plaque bearing his name is yeah, difficult to describe what that means to me. And then, as Steve mentioned, and I want to congratulate Steve on his well-deserved award as well. The Canadian Herpetological Society, you know, as Scott said, I kind of stay behind the scenes, but I'm, you know, watching and reading and keeping up on what everybody's doing here, and seeing what's happening in Canada in terms of herpetology in the time that I've been watching, which is a relatively long time. I won't say exactly how long, but you know, not getting any younger. But to see what's happening, and to see what sort of the peers and the professionals that are represented by this society, to be given any award by this group of people, is also humbling, and an honor, because when I look at you know, what the society is doing, what the members are doing, and people involved, it's just incredible to see what, you know, the work and the advancement in the understanding of Canadian amphibians and reptiles, the conservation of Canadian amphibians and reptiles, and the restoration. You know, I think that's a big thing. You know, we talk about conservation, we talk about gathering knowledge, but the applied aspect of what's being done, and the action that's taken, and the monitoring of those actions, and justification, and sort of tracking of the success and adjustment of what we're doing is fantastic to see. So you know, it's honored to be recognized. And as far as students go, you know, I think I have a passion, and I think most of us, you know, if you were interested in these things, whether any kind of amphibian reptile, when you're young, you're kind of forced to be an educator, because everybody says, oh, you like frogs, why? You like snakes, why? You know, so you from a very early age, as soon as you develop that passion for these species, you had to be an effective communicator, and you had to hone your skills to talk to people about things that they probably dislike. So you also have to be pretty you know, informed and persuasive at times. And that's really my story. And snakes were my first passion. And being a shy kid who could hardly speak to one person, let alone a group of people, I was kind of forced in a situation where I had to talk to people, and sort of went from that to, you know, teaching a whole lot of people all at once. But you know, what I think of what we have the pleasure of doing, both Steve and myself and anybody else who works with students, you know, we get to be a small part of something really big. And, you know, you get to plant a small little granule of information, or turn a perspective on one little thing, that then sends all those little thoughts and ideas out there into the world, and helps to spread, you know, what we're trying to do. And I consider that the biggest honor of what I get to do of all, and that is to interact with students and people, and then, you know, contribute to them being the vectors of our message. And so that's you know, really, I think yeah, a real privilege to be in that position, to be able to do that. And we'll continue to try to live up to, you know, the name that is on that plaque, Dr. Francis Cook, to continue to live up to the Canadian Herpetological Society, and what you're achieving, and to continue to live up to you know, what all of you do as well on a day-to-day basis. So thank you very much for the award, honor, and a humbling experience. Thank you.
Congrats, Josh. Well deserved. And if it didn't come through in the bit that I read, it's not only students. Anyone who interacts with Josh will find themselves learning so much and having their perspectives changed wherever they are and however they think. Josh has a natural ability to create change in a positive way without people even realizing they've been persuaded. So thanks, Josh. You're the best.